Whoa. So these are the new AirPods in hand, and I will be unboxing these with you guys just to share the experience so you guys can get an idea of what it's like to unbox the actual AirPods. So to start, Apple makes a very, very intuitive design here where you can just peel all around. Ooh, goodness gracious. That sticks to me. Anyways, after the wrapping is gone, you have just the AirPods. This is very similar to the actual first iteration, second generation AirPods cases where it just pops off. And of course, when you go inside, you have the pullout of the AirPods. Goodness gracious. This is a lot more complicated than I thought it would be. Of course, with that out of the way, these are the actual AirPods, and they come inside the case as well. What I'm incredibly curious about is, since the actual AirPods themselves have the little buds, I was curious if they had spare ones, which they do here. So right here you have different sizes of earbuds in case if your ear is a different size, and of course you have the standard ones as well. And so with that out of the way, this is the unboxing experience. You have the cable, you have the spare buds, and you also have the AirPods Pro themselves. So, yep, let's get into the review now. Hi guys, so let's just dive straight into review proper. So I'm probably going to go through like a good mash of details and comparisons with the old model and just generally conclude with my opinions on the AirPods, I guess. Let's kick off the details with, I guess, the actual thing. So anyways, you have a horizontal oriented case. The case itself is wirelessly chargeable, similar to what you would get from the wireless charging version of the old iteration of AirPods. So you can use your QI chargers, inductive chargers, and have a lot of fun and freedom with these. Of course, if you dive on in, you have tiny little AirPods here with the extra little silicone that helps it stick in your ear a lot better. The actual ergonomics of the AirPod has changed significantly from the previous generation. You can see here it was shortened, and also the shape of, I guess, the bud itself is a lot different. So it actually looks a little bit more like one of those like horizontal Bluetooth speakers in your ear rather than like vertical down, up and down. I guess if you guys are familiar with Dragon Ball Z, it's a lot like a scouter direction, so it'd be like pointing this way after putting it into your ear. Of course, another detail here is that there is that noise canceling part of the pod, that little black, I guess, bubble. That part of it is actually to emit sound outwards, such that you can activate noise canceling. Of course, this is the general AirPod. It has 3 modes of listening, and those 3 modes are transparency, noise canceling, and just this nice little media mode called off. So in transparency, it acts as if the AirPods themselves aren't there, so you can listen to outside sounds or literally anything around you. The middle ground is kind of like this muffle, but it's not like noise canceling. You can still hear around you, and it's just a nice little dim to the outside sound. It's a nice like slight alternative to noise canceling. And then of course, noise canceling itself is just such a wonderful feature of the AirPods. It honestly elevates the sound quality of the AirPods to just this next level. Of course, a couple of other details to pick up on. This is only iOS. I'm pretty sure you can't pair AirPods with Android, and so this is an iOS only product. And yeah, it's just one of the best iOS product investments I've ever had. Of course, the final thing about this AirPod is that you have a lot of touch controls, and you also have active Hey Siri at all times, so you pretty much have the entire arsenal of voice control just through your voice at all times, because your microphone on these is just so close to your actual sound emitter, which is your mouth. Anyways, a couple of details that I did want to hit in on is that this AirPod actually reacts by squish. So you want to like kind of squeeze it a little bit to activate a lot of the controls. Of course, you can toggle the sound modes via squeeze, and also you can squeeze to pause your music as well. I'm not sure if volume control is possible on these. I haven't actually delved that deep into it, but that's the general gist of it, and I'm gonna kind of move on to my opinions of the AirPods now. Honestly speaking, this is the best purchase that you can make in 2019. If you have an iPhone and you have everything compatible, I would highly suggest you go for these. These are absolutely perfect. They pass literally every one of my tests, like the bench test, the run test, the plane test, like everything. Like, I can wear them when benching, they don't fall out. I can wear them when jogging or sprinting, they don't fall out. I can use them in the airplane. The noise canceling mode actually does such a great job of blocking out your surrounding sounds, with the exception, of course, of the overhead speaker when, like, you know, they're like, oh yeah, buckle your seatbelts, the cabin has now prepared for takeoff, you know, like that overhead sound. It doesn't block that out perfectly, but I mean, you know, I don't even think normal noise canceling over-ear headphones can do that properly, but honestly, they do a great job for what it is, and it's just an elevated sound quality. My only kind of hazard for you guys is to be really wary because of how noise canceling works. If you guys don't know, sound goes this way, and then this bubble over here projects a different frequency this way to cancel out the sound. It's effectively just a quick symmetry thing. You put things in opposite directions and it cancels. So if you point this part into your ear, that's bad. So be very careful when using these, especially on noise canceling. It sucks the battery a good amount. Actually, I found that noise canceling lasts roughly an hour 30 to 2 hours if I'm just listening to music straight. Also, I do advise against using prolonged periods of noise canceling. It just kind of gives you a headache after a while, I think. Honestly, the battery life on these AirPods is the only thing that I really have to say that is a gripe of it. They're not as long lasting as the previous generation of AirPods, which, you know, would go up to like 4 or 6 hours of, you know, continuous music or use. I found that for these ones, they last roughly around like 2 to 3 hours with a mixture of noise canceling, transparency on off, and I'm still running through a couple of iterations to see like where exactly music and like, you know, the lifestyle aspect of these AirPods will fit. Of course, the fact that the case is always available to charge them makes it incredibly convenient for me, and I don't know, it's just the most convenient way of listening to things for like a day-to-day lifestyle use, work use, etc., etc. It's just perfect, honestly. I personally think these AirPods are at least like a solid 9 out of 10. It's high quality, you're getting exactly what you pay for, and honestly speaking, the integration with the iOS system and all the new features are impeccable. I haven't found anything that I've disliked about the AirPods themselves. Yes, their AirPods sound quality isn't nearly as good as what you would get from like a Sennheiser or like an audio-based headphone, but they do the job, and they do a great job for, I guess, the earbud quality that they are. And so, honestly speaking, I give these a 9.5 out of 10. I hope you guys can feel the same way. I highly suggest you guys try a pair out if you have the opportunity to. And yeah, if you guys have any questions about the AirPods or anything about my experiences, just leave them down below, and, you know, catch you guys in Friday's video. Bye!